This is Cutting Down the Nets, Tuesday, January 25th. We are 54.9%, 20 and 23 over the last 7 days with 3 picks still pending. Today we split the first 2, and the next 3 look like a sweat at best. So they'll get added in the next day. So what do we have on this slate? It is the Mountain West Prove It slate. Gosh, got some tough decisions to make, everybody. So I'll start with game of the day, Arizona at UCLA. I was shocked to see my data only have Arizona by about 2 points, and that's right in line with the market. So kudos to UCLA. They are playing far more efficiently than what I thought, because I thought Arizona's profile would be untouchable. It is not, so I'll stay away from that game. Texas and TCU showing as a TCU play. This is man versus the machine, though. TCU's been living off 3-point luck. Big turnover advantage for Texas. It's going to be elite grinding, but yeah, put me in the TCU's overvalued camp, and I'll stay away from that one. Mississippi State at Kentucky. So again, man versus machine. Line is 9.5. I have Kentucky 12.5, but this is not the matchup nor the spot for Kentucky. We have the hangover from the Auburn game. We have Kansas coming up, and Mississippi State's going to force the jump shots. They can actually compete on the glass, which is hard to do with Shibwe, and their 2-point offense has been efficient. So it's enough for me to say, yeah, I think with the spot and the matchup, I'll stay away from that one too. First, Mountain West Prove It game. Wyoming at Boise State. So this is tricky. Shot quality has these teams nearly equal. Wyoming 54, Boise State 60. And Boise has questionable offense at times, but Wyoming is due for 3-point regression. They're allowing 27.9% of 3-pointers to go in against them, and that's really contributing to their defensive metrics. They would be a very, very meh defense without that. And you're seeing that in their shot quality defensive ranking is of 125. But on the flip side, Boise State does have a questionable offense. So both teams likely overvalued a touch here. A lot of these Mountain West teams have probably inflated records from how strong they actually are. But in this case, the data does support Boise State. I don't love the number, but a little bit of value there. They will make it into my pool, and we'll see where we go with that. Kansas State at Baylor. K-State coming at 48 in shot quality. Baylor 4th. Baylor has the edge on the boards and 2-point offense inside against K-State. They'll test the K-State perimeter defense, which I don't know if it's luck or not. Sample size is getting big enough where it's like, hey, that's a pretty good perimeter defense. K-State has been inconsistent on both ends, so a little unpredictable, which we don't like. And Baylor's pretty much only had one bad game all year. But, man, laying 2 touchdowns, even if you're Baylor, at home, is a big conference number. So I favor the Kansas State side, but I'm shell-shocked from betting against the elites over the weekend when Arizona took me down. Purdue took me down. Just feels like going right back to it. So, yeah, I think there's value there, but running scared. Fresno State at New Mexico, Patino's feisty bunch. So Fresno State 77 in shot quality, New Mexico 226. So data likes Fresno. Shot quality likes Fresno. New Mexico does protect the ball. That neutralizes the turnover advantage for the Bulldogs here, but a massive, massive, massive rebounding edge. And that can be the whole key to the game. We saw that I don't know how this game has ended yet because there is still a couple minutes left, but last count, Virginia Tech had 1 offensive rebound and North Carolina had 15 offensive rebounds. And outside that, Virginia Tech beating them in all other phases. They're shooting better. They're getting more shots, forcing more turnovers. But give up 15 boards and only get one yourself on the offensive glass, and you're just going to get waxed. There's just nothing you can do about it. So I do like the matchup. However, I'm only showing about 2 points of value here. So they make my wish list as a hope number that doesn't exist yet, but we're hoping for less. Buffalo, Toledo. These teams also close in shot quality. So the theme here is shot quality has a lot of these teams nearly even, and then I have to decide whether or not I want to lay points, which I don't like to lay points to begin with. So this is just a tricky slate, and I'm not sure how I'll play it. I know what my pool looks like. I'm going to hope for some better lines. Buffalo, 125 in shot quality. Toledo, 122. Shot quality actually has Toledo with 3 less wins versus their actual record. And they've been running a little hot from 3-point. But both teams are off at least 4 wins. Toledo a few more than that. But situationally, like, this feels neutral to me. And I think the Buffalo defense is likely a little worse than what the data shows. They've had a little bit of recent 3-point luck that's helped their defensive profile a little bit. So, again, leaning Toledo here, but hate laying points, and certainly hate laying points when the shot quality profiles are so close. But we're showing a lot of value there. Next up, Nevada at Colorado State Rams. Another prove it game in the Mountain West. Nevada, 133 in shot quality. Colorado State, 50th. Both teams should limit the amount of offensive rebounds, so it should be a one-and-done type of game from a possession standpoint. Colorado State, 13th in three-point percentage for offense. Are they that good at a three-point shooting team? They don't take that many. But Nevada's going to funnel to the 3. Both teams will funnel to the 3. And whether regression hits or not, Colorado State has made theirs. Nevada has not. And you look at, like, wow, Cambridge is only shooting 30% on the year. Well, I looked at his career. The kid shot 723 pointers, and he's made 32%. So it's not like you have a 37, 38, 39% shooter that's just cold this year. Kid can't shoot. So he takes the bulk of the threes. Sherfield obviously takes some as well. But, yeah, if it's going to come down to 3-pointers, I guess it's the Rams. But, again, 7.5 points. You're killing me. No favors done ever by the books. Alabama, Georgia. Without the Missouri games, Alabama's profile would be insane. And that's enough for me to just say, hey, maybe it's just a quirk about that team. But if you look at their profile, they have had defensive efficiencies in the 80s primarily and a little bit in the 90s. And then for both Missouri games, it's like 125. And both of those games happened fairly recently, which is going to pull them down in my model. St. Thomas and North Dakota State. You know what? I didn't even put the line in there because I don't even want to sniff it. I don't care what it is. I'm done with the St. Thomas defense. Gotta respect the offense. I love it. It's an offensive-minded coach. They made a big leap to D1. They're just in over their skis when it comes to defending anyone. They allowed South Dakota to get like 1.5 points per possession. And they have the Bison here, but yeah, they've allowed at least 1.1 point per possession in 12 out of 15 games. And that is raw data. When you actually adjust for opponent, they're not playing good teams. They're playing Denver and Western Illinois and North Dakota and South Dakota and North Dakota State. So I just can't do it anymore. They've exhausted me. They've taken my soul, and I'm moving on. Oh boy. To get a dog bet, I have to go Southern Illinois at Loyola Chicago. Pissed off after a rare home loss. So shot quality has Southern Illinois. The Salukis are 142 and Loyola Chicago 24. This could be a 58 possession game, maybe a little less. Total on the game is 127. So seeing the number as big as 12.5 here, I like it. I like it from a pace perspective. But yeah, Loyola after a loss is kind of scary. Siena, Iona shows as a slight play for Siena. Um, and shot quality has Iona with 4 less W's, but yeah, I'm not willing to bet on Siena during a cold streak. That's not how you get your way out of this. I am going to bet my way out of this, but not with Siena. And that carries over to the next game, which shows a little bit of value on William and Mary against Charleston. But Charleston's in absolute desperation mode to get back into the Colonial race. So, what's that leave us with? God, I hate betting favorites. But I've got Boise State minus 4.5. Boise State, slightly overvalued. We'll acknowledge that. Playing a Wyoming team who is probably more overvalued. I love Wyoming too, but I mean, let's just be honest with ourselves here. And Boise at home. So, tough one. Next, Toledo and Buffalo. Toledo's just been playing really well. It's shown in their efficiency. 5.5. Again, hate laying points. And here we are, staring at it again. Dog bet Southern Illinois plus 12.5. So let's get to the wish list. Here's what the wish list is. It's where this line doesn't exist, but it's what I'm personally waiting for. And if it doesn't happen, I'm out. If it does happen, I'll see you on BetStamp. But right now, Colorado State is favored by 7.5 over Nevada, and I'd like to have that drop at least a point. And Fresno State's 5.5 at the Pit. So, yeah, I just want less points. But nothing scarier than seeing 4 favorites in a pool this time of year. But, yeah, they're fair lines. It's just kind of it's the cards we were dealt. And out of all the games on the schedule, there's a lot of games with giant point spreads that there's probably some dog value, but I'm just tired of betting against elite teams and getting cooked. So this is cutting down the nets. Good luck on this Tuesday.